If you met a stranger today and you were strictly forbidden from telling them what you do for a living, who would you say you are? It is a terrifying question. Watch the man walking out of the office building. There is a cardboard box in his hands. Inside are 20 years of important things. A stapler, a framed photo, a mug that says, "World's Best Boss." He hands his badge to the security guard. The guard doesn't look up, just takes the plastic. The glass doors slide shut. He stands on the sidewalk. The traffic is loud. The sun is shining. He is technically free. So why does he look like he has just ceased to exist? We don't talk about this part very much. We talk about the party, the cake, the gold watch, but we rarely talk about what comes after, the quiet that arrives when everyone goes home. Look at Michael. He is 58, but he isn't just Michael. He is every man who slowly learned that exhaustion could be mistaken for meaning. For 30 years, he lived in airport lounges and early mornings, fluent in delays and tight schedules. He complained about the 7 a.m. meetings, and yet they mattered to him because they meant he was essential. If the phone was ringing, he was needed, and if he was needed, he existed. Now look at him today. It's 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. He's sitting on his porch, the sun already high, with nowhere he needs to be. Out of habit, his hand checks his pocket. There's nothing there. The screen stays black. No one is asking for his permission. No one needs his approval. It isn't the work he misses, it's the weight. Without that familiar pressure on his shoulders, something feels unmoored, as if his life had been tied to the burden without him ever realizing it. And now the burden is gone. And then there is Sarah. She isn't just Sarah either. She is every woman who made herself indispensable by slowly disappearing into everyone else's needs. For decades, she ran the invisible operations of a family. The driver, the nurse, the referee, the chef. She used to say the same thing over and over. Just give me one quiet hour. And eventually, she got it. Last week, she stood in her kitchen holding an onion, already thinking about dinner, when it hit her. The kids are gone. The house is clean. The husband is working late. There is no one to cook for. The quiet arrives all at once. Not peaceful and not restful, just loud. She isn't only lonely, she feels unnecessary. Her job was being needed, and no one ever explained what happens when that job ends. If any of this feels familiar, if something in your chest tightened just now, listen. This doesn't feel like ingratitude, and it doesn't really feel like boredom either. It feels closer to loss. For a long time, your value had a uniform: provider, caretaker, professional. You wore it so long it stopped feeling like a costume, and now the role is over. The world has moved on to the next scene, but you're still standing there, unsure where to place your hands. It's about age. It's about identity. For decades, the world was very clear about what you were. What it never stayed around long enough to ask was who you were underneath all of it. So, how did we get here? How did we arrive at a place where a quiet afternoon feels like a failure? It is easy to blame yourself, to think you were just bad at relaxing, but that is a lie. This isn't a personal flaw. It is a programming error. Think back to when you were starting out. The 1980s, the 1990s. The world was loud. The message was clear. He who dies with the most toys wins. Sleep is for the weak. We built an entire culture around the idea that busy is a synonym for good. We were the generation of latchkey kids. We learned early, if you want to be safe, be useful. If you want to be loved, be productive. So we built armor out of our achievements. And the data proves it. Researchers at Pew noticed something unsettling. More than half of Americans describe themselves first by their job, not their character, not their values, their job. But here is the dangerous part. When you tie your soul to a paycheck or a role, what happens when the role ends? The Institute of Economic Affairs found that retirement increases the risk of clinical depression by 40%. 40%. That is not just sadness. That is the shock of a system going into withdrawal. If this feels familiar, you're not imagining it. Michael isn't broken. Sarah isn't ungrateful. You are experiencing the side effects of a drug you took for 30 years. The drug of external validation. And now, you are going cold turkey. The silence you hear? It isn't the sound of nothingness. It is the sound of the machine finally turning off. There is something else here. Something most people miss. This discomfort you feel? It is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of the real work. The Stoics had a saying for this. They didn't believe in retirement. They believed in the third act. The time when the soldier puts down the sword and picks up the book. You see, for the last 40 years, you have been building the container, the house, the career, the reputation, the bank account. You spent all your energy polishing the outside of the cup. But now you finally get to drink the water inside. This is the shift. We need to stop looking at this time as the end of usefulness and start seeing it as the return to self. Think of it this way. When a sculptor creates a masterpiece, they don't add clay. They remove it. They chip away everything that isn't the statue. That is what is happening to you right now. The job is gone. That was just clay. The daily chaos of raising kids is gone. That was just clay. The title on the business card, just clay. It feels painful because it feels like loss. But look closer. What is left underneath? You are left. The version of you that existed before the world told you who to be. The version of you that liked jazz, or painting, or just sitting in the sun. This isn't emptiness. It is space. Vast, open, terrifying, beautiful space. The silence isn't mocking you. It is inviting you. It is saying, okay, the performance is over. You don't have to act anymore. So, who do you want to be now? So where do we begin? Not by reinventing your life. Not by finding a new passion by next Tuesday. That's just the old system, wearing a different mask. We begin smaller than that, quieter. Think of it as a private experiment. No announcements, no commitments. The next time you meet someone new, at the grocery store, at the park, at a dinner table, try something unfamiliar. Introduce yourself without your resume. Don't say what you used to be. Don't reach for the title. Those were roles you played, not the person standing here now. Just say your name, and then say something small, something ordinary. I'm Michael. I enjoy reading history. I'm Sarah. I like the sound of rain. Nothing impressive, nothing strategic. If you do this, you may feel a flicker of panic, a subtle urge to correct yourself, to add context, to explain why you matter. That urge is old muscle memory. You've been using it for decades. Resist it, just for a moment. Stand there without the armor. Let the conversation stay light. Let it stay unfinished. Let the other person meet you without your rank. Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived the camps, once wrote that when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves, not our circumstances, not our past. Our stance. You cannot change that the career ended. You cannot change that certain seasons are over. But you can change what you mean when you say the word me. Not a human doing, just a human being. This is how you begin practicing that, quietly, almost anonymously. Let's return to Michael one last time. It's evening now. He's back on the porch. The phone is inside, charging. forgotten. The light is softer. The day is almost done. Nothing important is waiting for him. Do you remember that film about Schmidt? Jack Nicholson plays a man like this, a man who spent his life being useful, being necessary, trying to matter. And at the end, when he finally sees how small he is, he breaks down. Not because it's tragic, but because it's a relief. Michael exhales. Somewhere in the grass, a cricket starts chirping. He can't remember the last time he heard one. He was usually too busy filling the silence. And Sarah is still in her kitchen, but tonight she isn't feeding a family. She's making one cup of tea, just one. She holds it with both hands. It's warm. The house is quiet. And the quiet doesn't feel like rejection anymore. It feels like space. The noise has faded. The roles have ended. The audience has gone home. There's nothing left to prove. You can sit here. You can breathe. You can let the moment pass without explaining yourself. For now, that's enough.